7:12 now, and this is a live look at the Senate floor in Washington, D.C. right now. And there you see Senator Cory Booker. He is speaking on the Senate floor. This is a marathon speech. He actually started speaking at 7 o'clock last night. So we're talking more than 12 hours, more than 13 hours at this point. The senator from New Jersey says the nation is in a crisis and that he plans to keep talking until he can't talk anymore. In the beginning, he shared that his goal is to disrupt the normal business of the Senate in an effort to draw attention to his concerns with the Trump administration. Let's listen in briefly.
And one of the voices that just sticks into my hand is a man who was a white guy from the military who just said, I fought battles, I think it was Afghanistan, and I am offended by his staking a knee. But the very reason I fought was so that he would have the freedom to do it. And so I came back. I was there on October 7th, and I have very hurt, strong feelings about what's going on over there, and urgent desires to end the nightmare, to bring people like Idan home, to end the nightmare for so many Israelis and Palestinians. And I find some of the things people are saying so unhelpful to the crisis and to the moral truths that I believe in. But I will fight for people's rights. And so here is a situation where you see video and it just doesn't seem like who we are. If you're revoking somebody's visa, make a phone call, tell them that you have 30 days to leave, but there should be due process. And you should have to prove your claims in court. If this person is somehow lying with some kind of enemy, prove it. But what I saw there doesn't reflect the highest ideals. God, if this Constitution was easy, it wouldn't be worth the paper it's written on. And so I love my friend because she wades into some difficult waters, but she's guided by the oath that she took to defend the Constitution. And in these complex and difficult times, she's standing up. And I tell you, when we were in the immigration section last night, or earlier I should say, we read the most painful stories. The reason why we have a massive debt in America, lots of people should take ownership over it, but the biggest debt creator in the last, say, 25, 30 years is the President of the United States, current one. In his first term, by blowing massive holes in our deficits to give tax cuts that went way disproportionately to the wealthiest Americans and corporations. And he wants to renew those tax cuts that independent budget folks are saying could add trillions of dollars to our national deficit. So if he's talking about the debt clock or whatever he was talking about, he is a part of an administration, even though he's unelected and not approved by Congress and whatever, he and his president, the richest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world together, they're driving an agenda that's going to drive this deficit much bigger, and they're going to try to pay for some of it, not all of it, because it's trillions of dollars of projected debt. They're going to try to pay for some of it by cutting faith that no matter how flawed the system is, how cruel the circumstances, humanity will always shine through.
Senator, I have been listening to many of your hours of...
But the president we have right now doesn't seem to be coming to this body with any kind of bold bipartisan legislation to solve the problems of our nation, to cobble together the common ground of this country on immigration. No, he is not acting like that. He is using language like presidential primacy. He's defending his corrupt practices in immigration by saying things like presidential primacy. He's invoking the Alien Enemies Act. He's evoking the Alien Enemies Act, an act from the 1700s to deny due process, which Anton Scalia, a textualist, says that whether you're born in this country or not, you have due process here. If someone is willing to violate the Constitution, for some, it endangers the constitutional rights for us all. Do not think this is, those people. If they are violating rights of some, it is a threat to the rights of all. I am standing here because of a national crisis that is growing. We talked about Social Security. We talked about health care. We talked about education. This is a crisis for us. I rise with the intention of disrupting the normal business of the United States Senate for as long as I am physically able. I rise tonight because I believe sincerely that our country is in crisis. And so I rise tonight because I believe to be about what is normal right now, when so much abnormal is happening, is unacceptable. I rise tonight because silence at this moment of national crisis would be a betrayal of some of the greatest heroes of our nation, because at stake in this moment is nothing less than everything that we brag about, that we talk about, that makes us special. At stake right now are some of our most basic American principles that so many Americans understand are worth fighting for, worth standing for, worth speaking up for. Right now, all of this, things that make our country different, are under attack. Our constituents are asking us to acknowledge this. Everywhere I travel now, I hear from Republicans and independents and Democrats who are afraid, who are worried, who are angry. My brother over on the other side of me, I've got some of my really dear friends on the floor right now, Senator Murphy, Senator Warnock, Senator Smith. My brother, Senator Warnock, knows that we are a nation that is paying hundreds of millions of dollars over the years of the Trump administration to fund private prisons that are being paid, incentivized to take away people's liberties. We read stories in the immigration section about people that got trapped in those systems that should never be there. Horrible stories, painful voices I've read about folks who are caught up in a system. And I just loved that one article from that Canadian that was for weeks put in a private prison. And suddenly, when she heard the lies of the people who found ways to keep her there, the aha moment that she realized that these people, every day I'm there, they get profit. They're not incentivized by justice, they're incentivized by profit. I read stories, Senator Smith, of people that were sent to that horrible jail in El Salvador that the government admitted they made a mistake. They disappeared someone who has American family members. Story after story I read that just are such a betrayal, not of democratic values, but of American values. Because we all in this body know we need to do more to protect our borders, to keep us safe, to arrest criminals, be they undocumented or documented. That's an urgency.
And you've been listening to Senator Cory Booker, again, still speaking there on the floor of the U.S. Senate, going into the 13th hour now. He's mentioned so far a number of topics just in the time that we were listening about private prisons. We heard him talk about the Israelis and the Palestinians and the crisis there. We heard him mention October 7th and fighting for the rights of people, also acknowledging some of the senators on the floor listening as well. Senator Smith, Senator Raphael Warnock, and Senator Murphy from Connecticut. Now, technically, this speech is not a filibuster, since it is not blocking any legislative action, but it does keep the Senate floor staff working and disrupts the normal operations.